FERPA. Family Education and Rights Privacy Act. When are people not looking for a way to get their student loans canceled? Okay, that's never going to be out of style. Okay, the latest trend is that people are saying they're getting their student loans canceled because Elon Musk, his DOGE, violated our privacy rights. Now, while our privacy rights were indeed violated, you will not cancel your student loans filing a FERPA complaint. FERPA, FERPA. Family Education and Rights Privacy Act. You're not going to cancel your student loans by filing a complaint with FERPA claiming that because Elon Musk's DOGE violated your privacy rights, you should not have to pay it. So let's get into it. And let's also talk about some viable ways that you can have your student loans either forgiven, because you're not going to get them canceled, but forgiven, or how you can avoid it by having them suspended for a temporary period of time if need be. First of all, let's talk about what FERPA is actually protecting and what duties people are actually bearing in protecting your privacy. I didn't read all of the law and I'm not offering any legal advice, but I did skim it to get an idea of it. I am familiar with regulations as it pertains to data breaches. I was a paralegal for the Department of Justice in my state, in the Fraud Division and the Consumer Protection Unit, and I was responsible for managing the data breach statute for Delaware. So I am familiar with regulatory aspects of data breaches. Okay, so I say that to say this and not to get too deep into it because I really don't want to make the video bulk about that, because you're not going to get your student loans canceled by filing a complaint because you had a data breach. At the end of the day, the entity involved is responsible for protecting your privacy. If for whatever reason proper regulations are not met, negligence is made or whatever, and your data is breached, okay, the next responsibility is to notify you of that within reasonable time so that you can take adequate measures to protect yourself from any potential fraud, okay, that might happen to you as a result of the breach. But in reality is the breach in and of itself is not an actual harm. Okay, it's actually making you vulnerable to the chance and a higher risk of harm. Okay, so I explained it that way because in essence, even when you think about it, filing a complaint because your privacy was breached doesn't give you grounds to say you didn't take that money. That money is not in an inaccurate figure. That's a different type of argument. Now, if they have gone into your records and changed the amount you owed and changed it to something that's inaccurate, that is what you need to look at. And that is a separate argument, a separate claim. And you have provisions for you through the law to get whatever recourse you need for that, which still wouldn't be addressed through doing a complaint with FERPA. Okay. And y'all gotta stop listening to these people online, because for me personally, a lot of people who come on here saying stuff like that are so highly inaccurate are doing it out of some sense of desperation, no judgment, right? But you probably were in default prior to the breach while you're seeking to do something so unreasonable now, because that makes no sense, right? Now, again, no judgment. I have, 6 figures in student loans. Okay. And when we start getting into the valid grounds for forgiveness of your student loans or suspension of your payments for a temporary period, because it is not going to be indefinite suspension that I'm aware of. And if you let me know if they come up with that, if that's something that I missed, if it's out there, I want to know, right? When we get into that, then I can discuss my own personal because that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video today, because it's something that I'm addressing in my personal life. I'm seeing it on my timeline. So while I'm dealing with it and the information is fresh and readily available to me, I want to share it to you because it's not accurately being provided on the things that I have seen thus far. So next, similar to a FERPA complaint, you're not going to have your student loans canceled by filing a dispute on your credit bureau report. That's another argument that I'm hearing that's also inaccurate. Again, you have a contract when you agree to take a loan from a financial institution that cannot be made void or canceled by disputing your credit report, or filing a complaint because your privacy was violated. As a matter of fact, the contract cannot be canceled because simply and merely because your privacy was violated. If something more didn't occur, okay, that actually occurred and interfered, okay, with the accuracy of what you owe, okay, you don't have an actual claim, okay, because there's no actual harm outside of a violation of privacy, okay. But what would be the harm that you would be trying to get? Like, you can't justify a student loan that you took for an education that actually had an invoice that matched that figure, okay, and then it started accruing interest, and then say somebody saw your personal information, identifiable information, so you shouldn't have to pay it anymore. You understand? Like, that's just not gonna, it's not how it works, and it's not gonna work that way. But let's talk about how there you can either be eligible to have your student loans forgiven, okay, or have them deferred due to hardship or placed on a forbearance. Okay. So your eligibility for forgiveness and your deferment and forbearance options will differ and vary depending on whether you have private loans or federal student loans. Okay. The options that I'm going to share with you today are readily available on the Department of Education's website, and they're only available for federal student loans. Okay, private student loans have very limited deferment options. They're generally only for a year or two, and then thereafter, you're just going to be in default, or if you can't fit into one of their payment programs. Okay, I used to collect for Sally Mae for about a year, 2014, 2015. I also did charge off collections for credit collections with Barclays, pull credit reports, do payment plans, and review plans and credit and budgets with people. So I'm telling you from experience that private student loans do not provide you an array of options. It's a very limited amount. They may have 2 or 3 payment plans. If you don't fit within those plans, they're not going to give you an indefinite amount of time or an extended period of time to repay when you don't have a job because it's reasonable. You're just going to get default. They're going to write it off. It's going to be a blemish on your debt. And even when you go to dispute that on your credit, you're not going to be able to remove that until the statutory time passes for that debt. Okay, so borrowers can qualify for student loan forgiveness through one of the various forgiveness programs that the federal government, Department of Education, offers. I'm just going to rattle off a few of them. I'm not going to get too deep into it because you can check it out online. You have the Public Service Student Loan Forgiveness Program. I think a lot of people are familiar with Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program, and lastly, you have also, I believe, one for like qualified disabilities. Yeah, they have one for like qualified disabilities also that you can qualify for. Now, the income repayment programs, those are also available through federal student loans, were really helpful and a little and more affordable than those that are offered by a private student loan. But more people are eligible for deferment or forbearance, okay, especially with federal student loans, okay, and that's what I was doing today. Okay, today I just recently got my first statement for my repayment plan that they were just going to start again in April because of all that was going on with the SAVE program in the Biden administration and how they had put an injunction on that. Just got that statement. I'm supposed to go back into repayment in April. Anyhow, I went online. This is an application for unemployment deferment request. This is what you would go online to fill out. But how it works is when you go in there, it'll have like a workflow of steps where you're going to fill out some action stuff in there. There's going to be a form that you can download. This is the form. You download it. You either fill it out PDF on your computer, on your desktop, or you print it out and fill it out. Either way, it's going to have to get signed and uploaded back to be attached to that workflow, okay, to all be submitted online. And that's what I plan on doing tomorrow. It's not really a big deal for me. I have a fully functioning office upstairs, but I need to do another video. So I'll have to do a part 2.